I suppose a lot of people maybe, possibly. Welcome everyone to the 7th episode of the TheWhatCast, where today we'll be doing a random debate and team generator. But before we get into the podcast, check out our sponsor An Cloch Ban Photography on his Instagram, where you can check out his stunning photography. And if you find it just as amazing as we do, you can buy his prints and optional frame, and you'd be supporting him and help us create our studio. An example of his work is the background footage you see in this video. A big thank you to Darach Sharkey for providing the background music you hear in this video and in our intro. You can check his links in the description to show him some support. Our guest for today is Mikey here. Say hello.
I am still alive. Just want to let you know.
For tonight, we'll be using generators to decide our topic, which we have already a list, and we'll be using other generators to create teams, then a spin the wheel for the for and against. The first topic for tonight is number 5. Would you rather swim in shark-infested water or run through fields of lions? And the team that was randomly generated for this is me, Liam, for sharks, Mikey and Frank for lions. Now, I think it's only appropriate that the lions get to start first.
Mikey,
Yeah,
I'll let you take the lead on this because I have my argument for it very well formed already.
Honestly, the appropriate thing to do, the right thing to do, would be to team up, put our assets together, and work to fight the lions. But then again, there's also the second option,
Which
would
is
be-
to blow Mikey's
and using him as a human shield. No. You're being used as a human shield, Frank.
Although I am
no
in
way
the
out of it.
opposing team, I am quite in favour of the idea of using Mikey as a human shield. It
Yeah, I
does
think
really
that
appeal
might,
to
I
me.
think that might be effective.
I think Mikey would make a very good human shield.
You see,
Um,
we're very good relationship here. This is great teamwork already, guys.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The thing about the lions is, as long as it's more than one person, you do have a chance. You can just throw Mikey at the lions and run the other way. How big is this?
What are you
field?
talking about? If
Do
you
you
throw
remember?
me at the lions, I will tame the lions, and I will have come after Frank. Will be the king of the lions.
So,
you will be
I
our
think-
prey.
All in all, our reason for picking the lions is you can just tame the lions, obviously, and safely
Obviously.
cross the field. And
How would you tame them though?
if that doesn't work,
I'd
you-
cut off a piece of like, let's see. I'd cut off Frank's hand, and give it to them as an offering, as a
Right.
good faith.
But what would
Action
you
of good
cut off his
faith.
hand with though? How would you cut off his hand?
Just stick it in the lion's mouth and say like, there you go. And then just like
but when you're
slowly-
using your hand to force his hand in the lion's mouth, wouldn't you be afraid that your hand could get bitten off too?
No, I'd be holding the elbow, just shoving it in.
Yeah,
there,
but what if he just simply bends his elbow?
Then, well, Simba will be too fast for him. We get it before he gets a
You
chance.
see, Mickey, the
always
fact
come
that
back to
Frank can
anime.
bend his elbow is a big factor in this discussion.
Right,
The fact
you're
that
right there.
joints
I
and limbs have
instead
been
of-
invented is a big issue.
Bold
No,
of
I
you-
think you're right there.
bold of you.
There's
to
only
assume I
one
have
thing to do in
elbows.
this situation. I'll just shove in his entire arm. That seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, but what if your arm then gets bitten off as well because you're using your arm to put his arm into the lion's mouth?
This is gross. Oh my god.
And you
Then-
got to remember there are multiple lions. They do not simply sit in a single file line getting their share of Frank's hand.
Right.
Oh, you're
you
right.
see-
What am I talking about? I just fractured him entirely. They could devour him, and then we'll just all be friends afterwards. Like,
Right.
You're,
just
you're
we'll
basically
vote.
Circle
gonna
of
feel
life,
like-
guys.
Basically, like,
Well, I was only gonna offer like one hand, and we could both live. But Frank, there's just no way around it. Like, Frank has to die if I'm going to live.
Yeah, well, guys, I would like to fight for the idea of being in shark-infested waters, as you see, in Ireland, we don't have sharks, so it's just not an issue.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's
And
not an
I would-
argument. That's not an argument. What the?
I there's no
Like-
fucking. There's no
I
I
fucking
don't have
lions around
lions
either.
in my field, therefore I pick the lion field.
And we're just afraid of the cows.
Now, you see, the thing is, it's a common fact that sharks are all baby sharks, and they all go, baby shark, do do
Oh,
do do do. So
God.
they are
No,
zero threats.
What? I like the way you added "it's a fact," which instantly validated your point. So I
Exactly.
don't even have a counter argument against that.
You see, well, Liam, do you have any arguments?
Well, I was just
Money
gonna
is
point
all
out, like,
annoying.
let's just say it's worst case scenario, right? Let's just say there's no chance to it. We're gonna die, right? Well, if you're running away from a pack of lions, that means you have to use your legs, and I'm not really a fan of that. And when you're floating in water, it just kind of like feels better to be in water than to just be running out of breath as
Yeah,
well.
you'd be less
'Cause running out of
tired.
breath is painful. Yeah.
Spoken like a man who can't swim.
Yeah. What are you on about? Like,
Use your legs to swim.
No, you see, guys,
I know.
sharks are only triggered when you move. So if you just sit still, you'd be grand.
Oh,
like.
that's you're thinking of a fucking T-Rexes, mate.
No, Mikey.
oh,
Ah, nah.
I think
Sharks
I think
just want to come
maybe
and chomp a
actually
bit of your leg off.
Aye, that's grand.
Velociraptor or T-Rex, boys. Which one are you gonna fight?
No, that this is
Oh,
an
yeah.
off-topic debate, Liam.
There we go.
Damn
Velociraptor.
it, Liam.
Our
Yes.
debates are chosen by RNGesus, not you.
Yeah. Our good old lord, like, oh yes.
Lord and Savior.
So, well, guys, I think I've got to say, if the idea of Mikey being sacrificed to the lions does go through, I think that would be the more favourable option.
I agree. I think
Although
that's the
there
best
is not a
option.
complete chance of that, so I'm going to automatically give us the victory as I used
What?
facts.
Mm,
Oh yes.
this is true.
And
Maybe sharks. Maybe sharks couldn't touch it, Giovanni.
you see, but if it's
Facts.
Grandpa Shark,
Spell
because
FAX.
it's also a fact that sharks grow from baby shark to grandpa shark. So, like, you know, grandpa shark's just gonna hurl over anytime soon.
But daddy sharks gonna come and bite your ass off.
No,
Why is
they're
this
extinct.
happening?
Ah, of course. There's another
Chuck
fact
Norris
for
killed
you.
them all.
Why are we still here? To suffer?
So yeah, guys, that was quite an interesting one. Shall we get a new debate here?
Please.
Let's
I
spin
don't
the
see why
wheel.
not.
I can't really show it on stream, but we have got number 7. And number 7 is winter versus summer. And the teams will be Mikey and Liam, me and Frank. Mikey and Liam will be fighting. Hold on, there's quite a delay because I'm spinning wheels. They'll be fighting against summer, so therefore they'll be fighting for winter, and we will be fighting for summer. So us
Right.
teams again.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, how's she cutting as my new comrade? There you go.
Not bad.
He'll throw you to the lions. Watch out.
Nah,
No, you see, it's
I
only
would
you,
never
Mikey,
do
that
that.
happens to.
not in summer anyway, because like the good vibes are too much for any of that in summertime.
Isn't it
That's
like-
why
Like, guys, come on. You
Vote
sit
someone
down.
for president.
You sit down in the nice summer's day. You crack a cold one with the boys. That is just not an experience you can share in the wintertime.
It's just not the same.
I think the crippling alcoholism makes the winning factor here.
Well,
I must
clearly
agree.
you've never been to my Christmas family dinner. Because I feel like everyone I've ever
Thank
known
God.
that goes to that is
Yeah,
suffers from
yeah, Mickey, I'm
crippling
quite
alcoholism.
happy I haven't been to your family's Christmas dinner.
Oh my, it's the best. Like fucking honestly, purely honesty, or like
Possibly,
can
maybe,
you not?
purely
You
honestly,
cannot
yes.
deny. You cannot deny that fucking meal on Christmas Day is just fucking perfection, mate.
I heard you
Then
like
the fucking
3
words
pieces
of
of turkey,
family.
Mikey. Would you eat 3 pieces of turkey on Christmas, would you say?
I would.
Why
I'd
why
eat-
why
no,
don't
I'd
you
eat 3
pay for your
pieces.
turkey?
Why does this have anything to do with Christmas? Christmas
Because
the
Christmas is a
season
part of
living.
winter, and it's a fact that you can only count in summertime.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Why
Guys,
do you think the leaving
forgetting
cert is
the main
held
reason?
in
Forgetting the main
summer?
reason why winter is good. Fucking free presents. Yes.
You only get 3.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Oh my, calm down, Mikey.
Presents that are provided for FREE. Fucking summer, all you gotta do is like just sit around and laze about, but like
Now,
in
come
winter,
on.
you just sit
In winter time, do you get 3 months off school?
Oh,
oh.
like burn. You won't get in summer if you wear sun.
You see, people go out in winter
Well,
time when the
there's
sun is
there's
strong
disadvantage of,
without sun cream and they get burnt.
you see, like
Yes.
that's a bad thing. Like
You can
Just
only
too
buy
fucking-
sun cream in the summer. Therefore, winter sun will burn you. Unlucky.
yeah, the winter sun is like the worst. Like obviously,
Plus, guys,
but like you see, the thing is-
it's also a fact that you cannot ski in the winter as there is no snow. So therefore, you have to do
Oh.
it
Snow is a
in
big
the summer.
factor.
to be fair, there is actually no snow.
Yeah,
In
there's
Christmas.
no snow in winter here.
I believe this is my fault because you know, the year before there was the last snow, proper snow in Ireland. We bought sledges, and ever since that day, there's never been snow in Ireland again. So naturally, we cursed the entirety of Ireland. We're
Don't
gonna
you
go at
agree
least
that,
that
that
no snow.
winter is not as good as summer because you can't go sledding?
Not anymore.
Not
We're
anymore.
talking about. I'll make it work. Like fucking.
I think I'm enjoying the fact that
We do.
all of us are arguing about how shit winter is.
Well, Liam, why
let's
do you
just
think winter is better than summer?
I knew this was happening with 3v1. Winter is better than summer because I don't know. You get hot chocolate, boom guys, hot chocolate. That's what we weren't considering.
You can
And
enjoy
you can
hot,
put
Very
hot chocolate
convincing
in the...
argument. That is
the
a
summer as
convincing
well.
argument. There, like
You can put chocolate
don't
out in the
have
sun.
you don't get that.
In the
You
summer.
don't get that. You don't get that same chill vibe, though.
Also-
You don't get that fucking fireplace blanket fucking coming in from like the cold, just sitting there with the nice fucking cold, hot, warm hot chocolate.
Watch this. I'm gonna sway Mikey over my side, right? Because in wintertime, it's the only acceptable time of the year where you can play Christmas songs too, and it's accepted by everyone.
Yeah, but unless you're Makey and you play them all throughout the year.
Yes, that is a downside of winter.
Meanwhile, Frank in the chat there, this is such a clusterfuck. Bruh.
Trying to be
Yes.
subtle.
This
Trying to be
is
subtle.
this is what happens when we decide very late what the topic's gonna be, guys. So we just like let's just let RNGesus do it for us.
And Jesus,
Now you see some of the summer things as well, guys. Imagine the going to the beach, and it's nice and warm.
It's not actually here in Ireland. It's freezing when you go down to the beach.
An ice cold.
Maybe-
yeah, maybe you
maybe
get
up
like
in your,
two.
like,
Maybe you get like
Barnland it'd be
one
cold.
day in summer.
Yeah,
One
but
day
you
in
get
summer where
0
it's
days
decent,
in winter, Mikey.
Not
but you
always
do
true.
get the.
That is already an infinite
Ah.
increase in beach days.
It's a fact. Fact.
You don't get days off school in summer to go for beach day, but you do get days off school in
Lad.
Ireland for snow days.
You get.
Yeah,
You
no,
get
you,
all
you
the
do
days
get
off
days
in
off school.
summer,
You get
Liam.
3 months, Liam.
True, but you don't get that Christmassy vibe. Like you don't get hot chocolate. Like
You can
Like,
still
yeah,
get
it's
hot
like
chocolate.
But it's not as good. It's not as good in summer. It's
Sure.
too
What
warm.
about ice cream? My counter argument. I haven't been checking
Ice-
the comments here. Sure, yeah, yeah.
In,
Shame is just like
um,
he's all showing that these are alcoholics. Pretty much, yeah.
In winter,
mean, like-
your ice cream ratio of ice to cream is not satisfactory. Too much ice, not enough cream. Don't hit me.
You see,
I'm
was
gonna
it?
chat
I
with-
like the ratio of ice to cream 3 to 5 designated with the letters, but in winter it's just ice cream. That's the problem.
There's also Christmas movies that come out. Christmas movies are pretty good.
Oh,
Not
I was
considered
just about to
Christmas
say
movies.
that. Fucking Miracle
Die
on
Hard.
34th Street. Fucking.
Has anyone here
Oh my god,
actually
Liam
seen
just
that
said the
apart from Mikey?
pinnacle of the best Christmas film ever. Die
Hard.
Hard, like you just lost, guys. Just
Please.
It's a
lost.
fact.
Please
It's a
explain.
again-
fact. I'm
Sorry,
hitting you with
guys.
the Facts, boys.
Guys, I'm going to have to butt in here. What makes it a Christmas film?
Happens at Christmas.
Guns makes a Christmas thing. Gives you that Christmas vibe, you know.
Bruce.
American
Willis.
Christmas be like,
Bruce
Yeah,
Willis,
like-
bro, this is a mess of a podcast, man. What are we doing?
We went a bit off topic. Like, what is our other fucking interesting, intense
Oh my
debates we have lined
god,
up?
guys, what's with the cursing?
Right, come on.
Sorry, I
Moving
forgot we were a
on to the
PG
next-
channel.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
This
So which one
podcast
are
may
we-
have
we done
already
number
died, but it
7?
won't stop us from eating any remaining life from it. So next debate, Giovanni.
Next debate.
Records.
Homework should be banned. The teams
Liam,
will
I think
be
if it,
Mikey and Giovanni versus Liam and Frank. Mikey and Giovanni will be fighting. Come on. Or where you love homework.
homework is
Oh
the
yeah.
best.
Homework. No much.
Well, guys, I'm going to give
Right.
Team 2 here the privilege of speaking first.
Is that me?
I believe
Frank
it's
and
only
Liam.
suitable Liam to begin this. Seems only suitable Liam should begin. No homework.
Okay, so homework is good because
No, you're
It's really
fighting
No,
against homework.
You're fighting against homework.
oh, all right.
Come on, Liam.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry. Homework is bad because just look at Sweden. Sweden looks like a great place to go. Everyone loves Sweden. They don't do homework there, I think it is. Maybe it's Denmark. But yeah, people like that.
Aye,
I
class.
was gonna
Sweden.
say. I was gonna say that I think homework shouldn't be a thing because when you get home after school, you want to be measuring ratios of ice and cream, not doing maths and
Oh.
English. So, I mean, I feel like that's enough of an argument against
But
homework. in
isn't
itself.
the argument of ice and cream both maths and English as you're talking about ratios and the language combined?
Convincing. The argument there.
You
Applied
need
physics,
to
my boy.
learn the science and the art of mixing ice cream at school, and then home is for practical work
Like eating,
Not.
like eating it, would you say?
or theory.
But the eating part of the ice cream is homework, as ice cream is not allowed to be eaten in school.
Define work.
Liam, do you actually
Oh.
want to be kicked?
Guys.
Well,
Uh,
guys,
needs to be
this is
different.
why homework should not. Why homework should be banned. So, well,
This
guys,
episode is a shining example of why you should do homework, because then you kind of end up with a silly kind of like
This
podcast where
That-
everyone's a
this
little bit
literal
drunk.
episodes
this is
is
what our
why we-
podcast would look like if like we all did the same amount of work as Liam.
Exactly, like
Ooh,
Oh, low blow,
Oh.
low blow, Giovanni.
sure what he's on about. We have all the facts on my side.
So, well, guys, think about like you go home, do your
What
homework.
facts have you presented today?
I'd like to pluck something from the comments because it actually makes sense and isn't complete shit that we've been chatting for the past.
Not
15
like
minutes.
ice cream.
So Shamey has said more free time and less stressed after school, and I think that I generally agree with that. If you get home from school and you have no work to do, then you will have more free time, and with more free time, you can do any number of activities that you wish to do, including
Ratios of ice cream,
making
yes.
ice cream. Oh god.
Mickey.
Then there's also you gotta consider the fact like some things are harder to learn for other people. Like take maths for example. Like you can learn a few things in maths, and you could do it in class, and you think I understand this generally, but then you have to go and do homework at home just to hammer the idea into your head because it's hard to remember like all the theorems and all the complicated things for some people. Myself
that's
included.
why
So I
homework is
believe
great.
Imagine
Yeah, homework is great.
retaliating
Make
with
make
an
homework great
actual
again.
argument.
Now, you see, the
Imagine
thing is, right?
retaliating with an actual argument.
At the end of the day, homework is technically like it's a method of studying. Like, if you didn't do your homework, would you really be learning anything in school?
Honestly,
you
like,
learn the
most
theory
people
at
actually-
school
Those
and
are the
you-
only way of learning.
You do it in practice.
But school
practice
isn't the
makes
only way of
perfect,
learning as
guys.
well.
Guys, the old saying as it goes, practice makes perfect.
You see, if
So
we
you-
had Mikey's
that's-
level of wisdom on our team, which we do, we'd win.
Hmm.
Simple fact. But I feel like we're kind of being overrun by the ice cream argument. Making ice cream
Yeah,
is
ice
kind of
cream
a vital
argument
life
is
skill.
it's very convincing. Like
It's quite compelling.
Yes.
Although, guys, with the amount of ice cream being produced, we just can't have enough milk because people like Matthew want the cows to live. They're fighting for cow lives matter.
Here, what about veganism?
What about it?
Where did this go?
where did this come from? We're talking about
Well,
homework,
there's
not
those-
veganism.
There's those who like soy milk, and
You want to use soy boy?
in the subscription, like I don't know. Soy boys know who they are. Like
So no matter what conversation we
we're like
have,
a
Liam
roasting ourselves.
Liam was
always
just like,
to bring up
"Let's
soy
do
milk.
this."
I don't know why.
or against veganism, like
I mean, okay.
But for real
Should
though,
we
like
be?
Frank, imagine yourself in maths where you just didn't do your homework. Like how like less like informed you'd be of maths.
I mean,
Consider that, Frank? Huh? Huh?
ice cream. That's what I say.
Come on, like you have some argument. Like I had a decent put together argument. It was quite intelligent. I believe you should present.
Well, guys,
equally
here's the
intelligent
thing.
counter argument.
hey,
I have a
If I may
question I'd like to
interject.
bring up. Do you
Yeah,
think
so-
studying should be a like mandatory homework? Whereas like a part of your homework
That's-
is to just like study, like you're forced to do it.
I feel like it is.
but it kind of is mandatory. Like if they give you detention or whatever it is for not doing it,
Well, no.
it kind of becomes.
Well, how would
mandatory.
they know? Like,
You've not been to school in a while, Liam.
wouldn't they just
Don't
like,
do detention.
well, wouldn't homework like that is
Maybe in
basically what
like
is
maybe he secretly
homework.
goes to an American one that has detention.
Liam does
Well,
online
it's
Not-
school in
not
America.
isolated. Like, but like you could like stay in during lunch, whatever it is.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Oh yes, my American school, my online American school. That's where
Yeah.
it is.
Been influenced by
Nice.
that. He's had lots of detentions.
Hmm.
For talking too much about Trump.
Well, guys, I
Oh,
feel like
my.
we are horribly off topic here, so let's pick a new one.
God.
So we have
Is
topic
this one
number
gonna be
8.
even worse?
Topic number 8 is... never mind, we done topic 8 already. It's Winter vs. Summer, or else I read one of the numbers wrong.
Good lad,
Oh,
Giovanni. That's what we like to
Topic
see.
number 9, which is...
How is it going in order?
Should... Oh my god, guys, this is going to be quite the heated one. So you're probably going to be wanting the correct team. Should alcohol be banned? Liam and Mikey versus Giovanni and Frank.
May I just
Liam and
start by
Mikey
saying,
will be fighting dun against alcohol being banned. Shit.
Bro, well, how can I even do that when I have a beer here beside me, though?
Liam, do you
how can I do that when I have a full bottle of rum here? So like,
guys, use your
It's
use
kind of hard to
arguing.
relate to those who don't like
These are-
drinking, I suppose.
Use are arguing against it being banned.
Oh, that's
That's what you
easy.
said.
yeah.
So, well, guys, I think
Providing-
me and
Okay.
Frank should take the
you
W this time
opening
by starting
arguments.
off first.
Aye, why
Yeah,
not?
go for it.
So, well, guys, I mean, although alcohol is great and all, I have to mention that before I talk about this touchy subject. But alcohol should be banned. It's terrible. It kills people. It causes liver failure and people night out dying. It's terrible. Underage drinking, horrible. Why do we let this happen in our society?
Tears
Mhm.
families apart.
Literally,
Apart.
literally.
Convincing argument, but like, think about it like this: if there was no alcohol, everyone would be sad all the time. That feeling
Is that
of sweet release at the weekend.
Mikey is a
long,
psychologist for
hard
anyone
day.
who doesn't know.
Think about, but seriously, think about that. Like, the long, hard fucking week. Either you're at school, you're at college, you're at work, fucking just working away all through the week, and then you just finally get to the weekend, and someone's like, "Sorry, there's no alcohol for you." So you just
No,
must
Mikey,
suffer in
you see,
silence.
you could spend your time doing much more productive things then, such as ice cream making,
Mm.
if you weren't
Ice cream.
slathered.
What was it?
I hate that this ice cream making thing that I invented has become a.
This is just
a
this is
trend
the
that
Nazi
everyone-
dentist
all
all
going
over
I was
again.
about to say-
Like,
If you eat too much ice cream, you gotta get visited by the Nazi dentist.
Oh, no.
Oh, good lord. Right. Anything you want to add on top of like getting released at the weekends?
well, I don't know. I still feel like alcohol, although yes, very dangerous. It's kind of up to the person because you can't really ban all bad substances because then there would be a lot less foods we could eat.
Did I
all the
just hear
time.
Mikey crack open a
Wait,
can?
what? See, well, sorry, Liam, repeat this.
Okay.
William, say
You
again.
can't really ban it all because although yes, but it also has its negatives. Like a lot of people can get families torn apart from it. It would be hard to the government to step in and regulate it afterwards. I think because like it would kind of become like prohibition then. I imagine. Like people would still find a way to sell alcohol illegally, and they'd just be criminalized. More people in jail.
Guys, that is like our main argument here. The prohibition happened. It did not work.
Aye, because
Oh,
it's done
okay.
by the Americans.
And Americans
Sure,
do everything
Sure,
wrong.
look at
You
That's the
the
bad.
Americans.
fucking serious?
Apparently, the Americans can't even hold elections properly.
Yeah.
So,
No,
Liam-
no, Giovanni, we're not getting into
So,
this.
Liam, what is your argument there?
What do you mean? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
How can you
repeat that?
Even
expect Americans to
personal
handle
level there.
prohibition properly if they can't even hold an election properly?
Aye, how should you know? Like those pesky Americanos, like No,
So you say it'd be better applied in Ireland, so, like
Oh.
the drinking capital of the world.
no,
Yeah, we
no,
take
no,
that.
no.
Did take that very well. All right, mate. I'm afraid, Paddy. I'm afraid, Paddy. There's no more Guinness for you.
He says that in a
Oh,
Scottish
man.
accent. So you're
Saying
clear
in
to
my
Scotland
accent.
then.
I would be riots everywhere, mate. They'd want their fucking beer back.
Yeah, Mikey
It's just a
Mikey
fact,
is
like-
a bit loud. I'm gonna turn him down like to 0%. There we go.
Oh.
You ever just seriously contemplate your life choices? Me right
Aye,
now.
I usually do that, Frank, over a glass of rum and coke.
Well, guys, Mikey, just think of the massive
Well, you-
underage drinking problem in Ireland. How like it's even so easily accessible for children to get alcohol.
Yes. Yeah,
Mikey's
I love
just
it.
yeah.
You know, Giovanni's made a good point when Mikey replies with a high-pitched squeal,
And you can tell his mouth was filled with coke and rum.
and you can tell that he.
What are you
definitely
talking about,
drank
Giovanni? It's
underage.
all.
Mikey, I've said this like
It's
10
all
times.
filled with
Please
coke and
stop
rum.
cursing.
Sorry.
Hey, I was thinking, by the way, maybe we could discuss like what the future for the channel is, Gio, since we're just kind of like freestyling this anyways.
No, that's for a
No,
separate
it's
video
alright.
now.
The future channel is.
No, that's a separate video.
Like, stop going off topic. We're already
Yeah.
off topic.
I suppose for now, we can go to the number 7, which we were meant to do there, which is wrestling is the most exciting sport,
Oh.
and the teams for this will be Mikey, Frank, Giovanni, Liam. Mikey and Frank will be going dun 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 against. So me and Liam will be for
Oh,
the statement.
no. Right, you
Oh,
two
Frank-
can go first.
Yeah.
Conor
You two
McGregor.
Go for.
What?
Conor
That's
McGregor.
boxing, though. That's boxing,
not-
not wrestling.
Same thing.
That's UFC actually, Liam.
It's not even boxing.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry, Connor.
Wow, you just did a disservice to all Irish people everywhere, Liam.
Sorry.
Giovanni, pro wrestling, The Undertaker, and all that.
Yeah, lad. Like, come on. Like, you do love a bit of WWE. Like, come on. Every kid had those wee WWE figures. Like, you can't even deny that.
Yeah,
Bro,
you
like,
just,
im-
you just
imagine
love, you
like,
love
when
seeing
you
people
go into
like
the shop. You go into the shop and you see those belts and you're like, damn, I wanted those, but they were like €50, and they're made of
Mm.
plastic. And they had like, if you were to put them on, it had the circumference of like a watch.
It's obviously a successful business, though. It's definitely entertainment. Just some people differ on whether it's good entertainment or not.
Aye, there's nothing like a bunch of guys like pretending
The
to
real
punch each
question
Mickey,
is,
you know
wrestling
female-
real or fake, boys?
Female wrestling is a thing, Mikey.
Oh, I'm sorry. People punching each other or pretending to punch each other. So entertaining. Not like you know when you're like watching boxing or UFC and it's like all the tensions in the air. It's very atmospheric. Like anything could go, anything could happen. Well, except for on the rules, but like with this, it's all like it's pre-scripted. You know, it's already like the possibilities are very.
Oh yeah, so is
Limited.
like every
That's
film
what
you
it's
watch,
called.
but you quite enjoy them still, don't you?
Yeah, it's just like a movie. Or almost a book. It's the storytelling.
Your suspension of disbelief is not maintained because it's very easy to tell that they're not hitting each other.
But then again, it's so dangerous as well. Because
May I
they're putting
also add that sometimes they completely and utterly fail to make contact at all, and you could easily find it in loads of videos.
No,
Mm,
So
Yeah,
like,
okay,
it's
Mickey,
like-
but
yeah,
it's
it's
not.
going
We're not
on.
arguing whether it's real or fake. We're arguing whether it's an exciting form of entertainment.
Yeah. And there's many. By the way, to go back on Mikey's point there is a lot of like if you look up worst accidents in wrestling, like it's still a dangerous day.
Have you seen the worst accidents in real life sports?
Liam, did you know
Sure.
boxing is the most dangerous sport in the world?
Yeah. I'm just saying that like wrestling isn't just like ballet, like, and even ballet itself is kind of like difficult.
Yeah, you just when
Take me in.
you're on your way out of the wrestling, you just head over to the ballet across the
Sure,
way.
guys, just imagine a good way that wrestling is exciting is let's use John Cena for example here when he starts walking into the ring and his name is John Cena. Comes on like fucking crowd goes
The memes.
wild like.
The
Well,
memes. It has emerged as
Yes,
a
it is
culture
a
of memes too.
great
Meme culture.
Just
the
want
Batista.
to say, Giovanni, how do you know that John Cena is going into the ring when you can't see him?
Oh my god, Frank.
You just see his trousers floating.
We would
I
have
hate
no
that I just
RKOs out of nowhere as
participated.
well.
He wears
If we had no
camo
Randy Orton.
trousers. You can't see him.
Oh, that's a good
Blends
point. Well,
in.
you
He
can see
blends
his
in,
like
like-
shoes if he wears them. Maybe. Don't know.
Your argument is falling apart at the seams.
Well, Mikey just argued for something
Hulk
completely
Hogan.
irrelevant there for 5 minutes.
What about fucking Hulk Hogan? He's basically an American icon.
Yeah, that fella there, he's amazing. Love him.
I
Great,
love
great
that
man.
guy.
Sorry, Frank, would you like to just say that out loud to us?
I
I
would like to die.
I would also like to die. Hey guys, who's up for four?
Well, you
Always
see,
in the
guys,
bottom of the
me and
barrel,
Liam
yeah.
don't feel like that because we love wrestling. It is so exciting. You see, those people who don't find exciting, literally, like, as we've just found as a fact there, have mental health problems and have having suicidal thoughts, which is a terrible thing. And it is clearly proven now that watching wrestling can help with that.
Can't argue with that. I think he's won that debate.
Yeah, I think he's won that one.
Please move on.
The
Please.
next
Please.
debate
He
is
used the old
number
Morgan tactic.
6. Bro, never mind. I am so dumb. Look at this again.
Random torture generator.
Especially if
That's
I've labeled them all
legendary.
wrong. Number 4. Apple is the coolest brand in the world. The teams are
Can't
Giovanni,
defend
Frank,
Apple in any way.
Leah, Mikey. Giovanni and Frank will be fighting. Exciting drumroll insert.
This is like
We will be
Saw
fighting
7.
against. So, Liam, you have to argue that Apple is the coolest brand in the world.
Well, I'm just not gonna do that. Fuck Apple, like I like their logo, that's all. Literally. I like their logo.
Okay,
It's the
so
go.
right,
It's
so
the
me
logo.
and Frank are gonna have an argument with Mikey then.
That's great. Love, as you
You
know,
can
I
go
love
first, Mikey.
Apple, like completely. Like it's the best thing in the world.
Sure, you
Like,
you
clearly-
own an Apple Mac, don't you?
I do.
How would you
And-
find
and
your
what-
experience with your Apple Mac, as you would say it yourself?
Let me tell you, I just love it so much.
Well, guys, let me give you some information about Mikey's Apple Mac. Well, basically, the issue that I would like to present is the fact that on Discord you hear everything he does on his computer. He plays a video, you hear it, even though you're like however many miles away from him at the time.
Should it be hate? Should it be classified as hate speech or an action of hatred? I see what you're saying here, Giovanni.
It's a
I love how I'm
fault
just
in
completely
Apple
by
that needs to be
myself.
addressed. And every
Well-
Apple user we know has the same issue, Tulsi and Grey.
Well, guys, there's also like the positives, like the screen. Like the screen looks better when you're watching Netflix. Oh wait,
Sorry,
I can't
have
get
you ever
Netflix on
owned another laptop that would cost the same as a MacBook?
They
No, I'm
give
purged, Giovanni. Don't you know?
Well, you own the
jobs
MacBook.
to young
Oh my god,
Stole it.
Frank! Ah,
What? What
Frank,
did Frank
proceed.
say?
Proceed,
Chill.
Frank.
Have to-
Proceed with your
Frank?
statement, please, Frank. I want to hear that again.
Um,
Go on, Frank.
I'm-
Should I
Yeah.
repeat it for the crowd?
He forgot what he said.
Frank said that Apple provides provides work for young children.
Would you like to follow up on that statement?
Who's to say that other businesses such as Samsung and
I don't know
ones
why
don't do the same? Hmm.
doing for Apple. Little fingers are better for using like small microchips and things. So, I mean,
Yeah, and
really
they don't
arguing against
exist in
Apple.
other phones, do they? No, so it's just Apple. But think about the design of Apple. It's nice. It's easily accessible.
Now you see,
just
guys, this is where we're gonna
very-
absolutely destroy you. You see, if you use something that isn't Apple, you don't have to pay for a sticker,
What do you
and
mean?
you can actually
but,
download Discord as an app.
Damn you, Shamey.
Apple does have that, like, you have the emoji face.
And another thing with Apple,
love
like
the way-
basically, whatever you buy will only last 3 years because they'll stop updating it. Once it stops updating, you're not like it won't let you download new things, which is like
Also,
scam 100.
Oh, this is unfair. This is
Also, if
unfair.
you hate
I own an
earphones
Apple
for
Mac. I
whatever
know the
reason-
horrors of Apple.
if you hate earphones for no reason, then you can buy AirPods with your new Apple phone as well. You know?
Yeah, you
Express
can
your
buy
hatred for
Raycons
wired.
too, which aren't Apple.
Yeah. Raycon Shadow Legends sponsor us.
Please,
One of you, please.
no, make a new company called Raycon Shadow Legends, please.
Yeah.
Apple have a handy feature, a thing that they let you do where you can buy these leads attached to your AirPods, so when you're walking, they don't fall out and you lose them. It's almost like real earphones. Yeah.
Oh, that you're
Is
right.
this-
That is a great feature that they have. Adding a cable so you don't lose them.
They're still AirPods.
How do they think of such like amazing things?
Their customer service is unparalleled, as Shim in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Apple is a terrible
know-
company. Although
And
I
Matthew
suppose
doesn't
for,
have
like,
ammunition.
the only like upside I would personally say that Apple has is like they do a lot they do good deals for like schools and stuff. They're looking to get new computers and stuff. Like they'll give them decent deals. It's kind of like a good thing, you know. Children labor to
Profit
children
itself
education, like
is-
you know the circle of life.
Yeah, we won't. We're
not talking about the Lions anymore.
Refuse to pay 13,
Yeah, we're not talking about
13
Lion King, like.
13 billion euros worth of tax that could have gone to help improve in schools, but they donate a couple of MacBooks, which makes it all better. Yay, Apple.
Exactly. That's why they're such a good company. So well,
Cool,
guys.
I think we won this one, guys. I think it's
What?
obvious that
My
Apple is just the
ass,
greatest
you
company
won.
in the world.
You just got shut up.
No, right, honestly, bro. I side with them, like. Paid me over, like.
Okay, fair.
To be honest, as an Apple product owner,
Mm.
it's the best company in the world.
Topic number 1. Students
Oh.
shouldn't have to wear a uniform. The teams will be Frank, Giovanni, Leah, Mikey. And Frank and Giovanni will be fighting for. So, well, guys, at school is a place of respect and obediency, much like a prison. So, therefore,
Holy shit, like, calm down, like. Mr. Principal over here, like. Mr. Principal, like.
I didn't even
Honestly, man.
mean to make it seem that harsh, like, it just came out that way. because I was just like thinking on the
Little
spot.
place
But
for
yeah,
institutionalism.
good. Some reasons why I think uniforms should be in place. I'm actually going to go serious on this. We should do that for at least one topic, today. Basically, with school uniforms, they obviously do have their pros and cons, like everything in the world. But some of the pros I would like to think of is if everyone's school wearing the same uniform, it can kind of prevent that whole ideology of like kids being bullied for what they wear. Is for example, if you have some students that are better off and they're wearing like their Gucci jackets or whatever, and you got like regular people wearing pennies, even though in Ireland everyone just wears pennies. Which is a
Pennies
fact.
is a perfectly viable choice for clothing.
I mean, like, it's only made by children. Well, was anyway. I think they've changed that now. But yeah, that is some of the good reasons. And although, like, if you with your school uniform, let's say you spill your ice cream that you were making in ice cream class on your uniform, it's very they're generally designed to be easily cleaned. Although if you were using, like, let's say you had your silk robe on in class, that would be very hard to clean.
Love to just note how child labours came up quite a lot today's podcast.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by child
Like
labor.
that theme.
Yeah, Shamey
Sponsored by
doesn't.
Apple.
Shamey does not do child labor. Just want to clarify that. Essentially, I'm
There's just like this.
making that assumption.
Imagine we just have this one subscriber who's just like, what does it all mean? He's looking at like the child labor, the ice cream, the Nazi dentist. He's like,
Guys.
what does it mean?
It's a conspiracy.
Does our channel exist?
Well, guys,
Question mark?
would you like to make some arguments against school uniforms?
Well, take the example that without school uniforms, you're less restricted and you can express yourself more through clothing. Like they do in American high schools. They help
So
you
it sounds
develop
like nonce
your-
behavior, but okay, Mickey.
It's just a fact. Like, Liam, do you want to help me?
Well, it is interesting. Like sometimes, like the uniforms can be like fucking uncomfortable. Like I just don't like wearing a tie. So I always kind of got in trouble for that a little bit, not wearing a tie.
Yeah, you kind of get stuck getting in trouble for that in like second year.
Yeah, but
but-
also there's like some schools as well. Like literally, we're the only school around that doesn't like have to wear black shoes
Yeah.
and everything.
yeah.
I mean, like, come on, I've
And
worn
that's
my
nice.
uniform one day in the past 2 years. Like, that is not
These
a
stricter
joke.
regulations in our school.
So-
I think Frank did a really
That's
good
what you're
job
fighting
earlier.
for, Giovanni.
So his
You hypocrite.
I just feel
I was
like
gonna
that should be
say there as well.
stated.
Here, do you know what Frank mentioned as well, though? Like, this could all be coming into question. Like, it's all up in the air right now, because Frank in our last episode, or whatever one was our education one, he pointed out, like, how all this COVID thing will probably change education, like, forever in the country. So it's all up in the air right now. Like, these things could be changed.
That's just gonna change the uniform.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it could. Maybe there'll be some uniforms that don't cover up enough, like cover up more skin, so the coronavirus doesn't get to you. Like, that's clearly the best way to go. Like,
I remember they used to, like, not, like, in Ireland as well, because a lot of them were Catholic schools. Like, I remember at least in my school, like, boys weren't allowed to wear earrings. So, I always found that interesting.
So you think, so you're, are you for or against that?
Well, I got one time, so I was like, why not?
I was thinking as well, like, you know how you were saying about like the Gucci things and all of that. People wearing that, and then people wearing pennies. Like, well, take the school you'll be going to. Most likely, it'll be working class to middle class people. So most people won't be able to afford those kind of things. It'll kind of be middling around the place. Like, it'll be just kind of everyone will be wearing. Maybe a few exceptions of other people wearing nicer clothes, but the majority of people will be just wearing normal kind of clothes. So it wouldn't be as much discrimination and stuff like you see in like exaggerated American films and TV shows.
Good point, Mikey.
Yeah, I suppose that is. kind of true, but like then again, there are those outliers, and you know, if everyone kind of had the same level, and plus, like think of like school trips as well. Let's say one of the students were like missing, like on a school trip, like they've just wandered off. Like it would be much easier for like a member of staff, let's say at a museum, to be able to like spot them out rather than like Joe. They're all wearing different clothes. It could just be like a person at a museum rather than like a school student, you know. So
I
like,
must agree with that because we did lose Lee at Limelight like one time.
Yeah, but I wasn't wearing my uniform, was I?
exactly.
Exactly. That's why we couldn't find you.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, all for the uniforms then. What about you,
Okay.
Frank? What do you think?
I just lost the will to live.
Frank
there-
loves
is there-
this
contemplation,
podcast.
like-
Is there anything else to add? I feel that uniforms are so important to a good podcast topic.
Mm-hmm. And well, guys, I'm mining up a new
Oh.
topic now
There's that.
because this one's dead clearly.
So it's this podcast.
So this is one to do with voting age. Now, this is going to be one that people 16 and older should be allowed to vote rather than the general 18 and over allowed to vote. Oh, excuse me. So, Frank and Mikey versus Giovanni and Liam. Frank and Mikey will be going against this. You're going for 18 plus. Me and Liam will be for 16 plus.
You can start off.
Okay. So, well, obviously at like the age of 16, you're very young, and not everyone's going to be having the same kind of, I suppose, maturity to vote. But then again, the people that don't have the maturity to even vote, like in the first place, they're generally not even going to bother vote. So I think the problem of like people of having like, suppose like they don't have a opinion that they believe in, I don't think that would be a massive issue, because the people who don't have opinions aren't really going to vote. But then again, you do have the people that do have opinions and want to express that in their country. I think they should have the right to have that option. And so kind of you could say age of 16 is when certain people start to kind of get political views. It's kind of when it becomes a thing in life. Obviously, there are exceptions. But I think for those people that want that to be done should have the choice. Because if you look at it, like when you think of it, the people that don't really have opinions aren't going to bother to vote in the first place.
I think
True.
that all applies to 18 as well. I thought I thought
Yeah.
I had a counter argument, but I don't. Give me a
For
come
me,
back
actually,
to me.
like, just because I'm on your side, Joe. But let me just oppose you for a second here. Let me play devil's advocate.
A second.
Like,
Go on.
What's the point
Continue.
of having teams?
what did you say, Mikey? Sorry, I thought Mikey said something there. Do you mind? What were we saying again?
I was like, we have our teams, just kind of stick to the for and against.
But just let me play devil's advocate for a second. I think I don't think it's necessarily always a good thing. Maybe sometimes, yeah, it's good for like the odd occasional person, but I think for the majority, I think they need to like be into politics for a few years before they actually like get like any real strong opinions, like, because sometimes their opinions can go in there and change after a couple years and things like that. And also, when you're 16, like, you're more susceptible to just being like swayed one way. Really, I think.
Yeah,
Then
but
again, like, yeah, there are people who are like from the age of like 10, like they're interested in politics. Like Frank, you said, you kind of like grew up just with politics. Like, I wonder, was there a vote
People
before
are
like you?
up with politics, but it's quite a common thing in Ireland for you to just grow up, take on your political beliefs from your family, and just go out and vote with them. But some people that aren't more like may think there's like
I think that's changing
they
right
don't just-
now in Irish society.
maybe a bit.
I think
Like,
with the growth of Sinn Féin, that's kind of
traditionally,
it's changed right now at the minute.
traditionally, most people, even if it is like, even people aren't really thinking. They're just thinking what their family believes in,
Yeah.
and they'd usually go and vote for the party their family believes in. So, if you're age of 16 and you weren't 16 or 17, you wouldn't be thinking like as much. But if you're 18, maybe slightly growing up, having to deal with stuff like believing certain responsibilities and stuff like that, similar stuff like that.
But the
You'd have to
thing,
think more about it.
as I was saying before, is like people who's 16 who don't really have an opinion aren't going to vote in the first place, because like if you're not at that level of maturity, it's generally like you wouldn't bother. Like,
But what
It's
if
kind-
they get
I have a
radicalized
counter
by the
argument for that
Nazi
there.
agendas?
Shush. I just have a proper counter argument for that. My sister, after she turned, she's never been interested in politics. Like, she honestly doesn't have an opinion. But my dad always gets her to come home. Mum and dad always tell her like come home and vote for Sinn Féin. Just like he doesn't really care. All she cares about is just like nightlife and stuff like that, fun stuff. Like people that really get involved in politics care about like most young people, like not us.
Yeah, that's the thing
Just
you were
like-
mentioning earlier about
votes.
how that's kind of like a tradition, but I think in the past like maybe 10 years that kind of cycle has been broken, because as like, you know, in Ireland Sinn Féin have never actually been in power, which is kind of mad to think of. But I would say in the last election, like they had the seats but not enough people, if I'm correct.
Oh my god, that is so annoying.
See, that's kind
They
of showing that
had
that
the
cycle
votes.
has been broken.
Mm.
So
What
like
were you
kind
gonna
of
say
like
there, Frank?
young people are getting
Just clarifying, they had the votes, like they had the popular vote, but they didn't have enough candidates put forward to have a majority in government.
I mean, like, your parents being an older generation supporting Sinn Féin is kind of odd, really, like, because the majority of, like, Sinn Féin voters would be young people. Like, I mean, obviously that's kind of like an outlier there, you could say. But just my point
also
on the
people, like-
cycle there, like, I think that cycle has been broken.
Oh, there's also
If not
Yeah, I was
broken,
gonna say,
definitely
there's people, like-
breaking.
Yeah.
exceptions. Like if Liam really took a long hard look at Irish politics, like since he's more, no offense, Liam, on the conservative side, I think more towards Fianna and Fianna Fáil. He's a minority, but like there might be loads of other people like him, in other places. Maybe more, less of a
I
minority, more
simply
of a
don't know
majority.
enough. I simply don't know enough to say though. I'm just not interested in there.
Aye.
Right now, at
It
this
is-
stage, I'm Irish politics.
A hard point to make an argument for, because kind of is true either way. Like, I wouldn't give it to anyone, like even like younger than what's called 16.
If I'm
'Cause,
correct, a
like, I
few
feel like
years ago
year-old-
there was like a kind of like a thing in the government where they're deciding to make 16 plus the new voting age. Am I right in saying that?
Funny.
I think that was a
I
thing.
don't know.
It's always been
Yeah.
discussed. I don't know if it's ever been actual like put forward with
Utilized,
any real chance of
implemented.
getting through, like, yeah.
No, but
Here,
It
I'm like,
hasn't been
There's another
implemented.
I wanted to bring up. So, Johnny, you were saying like in Ireland, like for me, I might be like a little bit interested in Irish politics, but I don't know enough about it. Like a lot of people have opinions in politics without actually knowing how it works. So, like when you were telling me the last day that like in Ireland to vote that like list your like favorites in order, you don't just pick one person who you want.
yeah.
List in order. Which other countries have that, which other ones don't. But it's interesting how you said that, because if you get 16-year-olds to vote, they might not know that because maybe possibly they're mature.
Well, that's the thing, you,
That's really
you
interesting.
learned that
Maybe-
like
or
first
maybe-
third year in CSP, like the voting system.
But even still, like CSB is such a DOS, like as Frank was saying in the last episode a little bit, like
Yeah, definitely. But like, you know, I do remember learning that. That's how I know.
I mean, it's one of the big things about Irish voting is proportional representation, and the way that you can it's a numbered order of who you want in. So even if you like really don't like someone, you put them at the bottom of
It's
your
more
list,
like-
number 7 or whatever. You don't just not put them on the ballot. I think that's
More like an issue of maturity rather than age, I think. Because the mature ones will like think carefully about what they want and who they're going to support. And I think they are the ones that would, even from 16 to 18, there's like loads of people in there, like intelligent, knowledgeable people that would choose what they want carefully. Then there's also the other ones. I think age is kind of irrelevant when you think about it, because some
Well,
people
age,
wouldn't even bother to
age
vote.
generally
Yeah.
is linked to maturity.
Yeah, but some people are more mature than others.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say I like maybe myself. Like when I was 16, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I wasn't really very well formed politically.
Yeah, I don't think
so
I would have wanted to vote at 16, but 17 I would have definitely.
17, yeah, 17 is more appropriate age. 'Cause you're not really.
But you know, I
you're
think it
16, like
as this is for my argument, but like this should be kind of like for the people who want to kind of should have the option, because you know the people who don't want to aren't going to bother. Like,
yeah, maybe there should be like a system to apply for it. Like if you really care about it.
it's kind of like that HPAT thing they do for people when they become doctors, isn't it? It's kind of like a maturity test almost.
Damn, I keep forgetting I'm arguing against this. Damn it.
Yeah, I think this just kind of become a discussion. It's quite interesting.
Could have,
Here.
guys, can I just say something? This could have been like the whole video, probably.
Yeah, but come on, man, we need a bit of comedy in the
A little
podcast.
bit from earlier. We had good fun talking about this earlier as well.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic. Like, it has both sides, and I suppose all of us here can kind of argue for both ends, like in this sort of subject. I think something I want to clarify that I forgot to do in the intro, which was a big mistake. But like any of the opinions you really see in this video are kind of based on what the generators have told us to argue for. This isn't like actually our personal beliefs. Maybe in some cases yes, but in some cases no. So don't take anything you hear from us as granted.
We don't actually want to run through a field of lions.
Yeah.
And swim in shark-infested waters.
Yeah, like
Mikey, I'm not running through a
Frank
field of
definitely will
lions.
not.
running away.
Doing your kneecaps and strolling nicely across the field.
Oh yeah, it's fancy. This is fancy. You just want to feed me to lions. Fair enough. Like,
Frank, just state that
Anyways,
you do not want to throw Mikey into a pack of lions, just in case it ever happens, like, you know, accidentally.
we've come to
know.
like a mutual agreement
then I
that
can
it's more
catch 'em off guard.
maturity over age.
Mikey, I would never throw you to the lions. Wink.
So, well, guys, I'm going to bring up a new topic. This topic number 1. Facebook should
How are
be
they all
stopped.
number 1? I swear you went 9, and then 1, 1. What are you trying to say here, Johnny? Is this a 9/11 conspiracy?
No,
Come
bro.
on here, like.
I'm just doing what the
Liam.
wheel tells me.
Liam. rewatch this video later, like-
No, Liam. No, Liam.
So
save
the
it for
teams
American
for this
conspiracy
are going
video.
to be Giovanni and Mikey versus Liam and Frank. Giovanni and Mikey will be going against Facebook being stopped. I think I'll let Frank and Liam start this off arguing for Facebook to be stopped.
Well,
And let me just clarify, stop does not mean banned. Let's just say stop can be like kind of like adding restrictions, like to like what they do.
Well, that's what I mean. Let's get into specifics. What kind of restrictions?
Let's leave that up in the air.
You decide.
Liam, I think Liam's gonna love this one. I think Liam should start us off.
I don't really know. Like, I don't really get
We
you. Like,
have
I don't.
We have to stop, right, Liam? I know exactly an argument you can follow up with, so I'm going to start.
Yeah.
We need to stop people accepting the Facebook terms and conditions who are not old enough to accept terms and conditions that are given by Facebook or whatever. You should be stricter. Oh, Liam, what did you say? It should be stricter so that people under the age of 18 can't join Facebook easily.
The problem what it's actually built for. It's built for like stopping like anyone from reaching like a pedophile, let's say. But like actually just doesn't work at all. So no bar.
Yeah, definitely,
Oh.
definitely.
Yeah.
You know, so he's a workaround. I mean, it would be great for like that to be resolved. I'm fighting.
Like,
Yeah.
What am I fighting for against?
oh,
No,
you're
you see, I think with the, I suppose kind of
Nobody
adding.
knows what we're
You're
fighting for
fight-
anymore.
I think
we're
these.
fighting for
What
independence.
are we fighting for?
Yeah, I think like stuff like Facebook, whereas it kind of like what is the word? Web 2.0 websites. That being user generated content. I think like that it should be like obviously I think there should be like restrictions on like that are currently in place. You know, for like nudity, violence, stuff like that. But I think like it should be kind of free, like by the people, for the people. Kind of a thing. I think the people should have the
Abraham.
freedom in that to do what they want.
Could
They
I
say what
zone
they
in
like.
more on like the more social aspect of it? Considering if we're thinking about Facebook in its original state, like sure it started off as like more of a college thing, but like it was more people like to experiment with like social media in the first place, like younger people that are like inspired. Great. How's I sound now? I'm speaking
Better.
slower. Others like younger people would look to their older siblings and they'd think they seem to like this thing. Seemed interesting. And they're like, I know we're all eager to grow up, and then when we get,
Make
they're like,
your
oh,
mic, man.
I want to be young. I'll just stop.
Mike,
talking.
unfortunately, your mic is kind of wrecked here.
Well, we'll let Frank and Liam take over then for a couple of minutes while he resolves that
Yeah.
issue.
Well, I don't really know. You can see the positives and the negative. The positives is like you're able to find long lost family, but the negatives of like I don't know, like the kind of terms and agreements. Like there's a saying like and this is like how I see it. It's like when the product is free, you are the thing that's being sold. Because nowadays the new coal is data for perfect marketing. That's simply what it is.
Okay.
Wasn't they intentionally meant to do it or not? That's just kind of what it turned out to be.
Yeah. I definitely like agree with that statement.
Okay, it might have not even started off that way. Like maybe it was literally just for like social things, whatever. But it's basically turned into like the biggest, best advertisement thing in the world. And it's only a matter of time until there's restrictions.
Don't you
upon
think
it.
advertising though is important?
Yeah,
Like it's a very important thing in the like the world economy.
absolutely. It's an interesting talk with I think it was like Russell Brand. And I can't remember who the other guy was now. I wish I could recall. But they were talking about like it's just that like society tonight now it's like it's just buy. It's like nowhere but in America can you like wear like $600 shoes, fucking whatever, and like still kind of hate your country, you know?
What?
I don't really understand
I'm
that.
just saying you can be rich as hell in America and you can still like there are people who still hate their own country when they live there, which I find really strange. And it's because of like the buying culture. Like everyone just buy shit, buy shit, buy shit. It's like what Rick says, like
Yeah,
it's all about buying it. Like
but money being spent is what creates strong economies.
no, I'm just observing it. Like I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm just
Hey
saying
guys, I might be
selling.
I might be FK for a bit longer now because my computer's dying. I need to just plug in the charger, but I'll go put my computer on for a second, so I'll be right back afterwards. Only take about a minute, okay?
No worries.
Fill the
Okay.
gap.
See you in a bit.
I think we were.
Giovanni
shitting
arguing on your own.
capitalism.
Yeah.
I think we were shitting on capitalism there.
What?
Nope, never mind. Good news. It's
Yeah, like there's flaws to it too.
working just fine.
So yeah, but
We may
Liam,
continue arguing.
what was but like obviously like using data here like that is it's like it really helps create a stronger economy. I mean, like obviously like people don't like the idea of your data being shared around. Well, like are there really like at the minute many negative effects from that?
I think so.
like in the real world, like would you say
Look at it.
like Facebook selling your data has any negative effects? Like I'm just genuinely curious because I actually
You
like
think about
personally I haven't seen anything, but I'd like to know if like there actually is.
Well, it
when you
just
think about
makes
it,
you want to buy
really,
more
if
things.
they're selling your data or stuff like that, if they're like sharing your data to like maybe like government entities like
It's
police or like FBI or
it's a
something,
privacy.
it'd usually be
it's-
because you'd be up to something.
It's something
But
that
that's not the data they
I
gather.
mean. What do you mean?
The kind of data they gather is for it's like for example like keywords you use, like for say example you were on Dundale looking at cars and then you go on YouTube, you watch a video and you get loads of advertisements on places selling cars. That's how the data
But it,
is
Yeah,
used.
but do you not see that as a privacy issue?
I mean like yeah, but like you
Not really.
obviously have the options to
Kind
decline
of,
cookies.
but like
it's not though when the only way
We
you can.
can't do stuff. I'm.
Liam, what were you saying?
disconnected.
No, go on, Frank. I want to hear Frank's. What did you have to say there, Frank?
Here, my internet is. I can't hear anything at the
Okay.
minute. Give me a second.
Well, I'll carry on
Sorry.
here then. You see, there is ways to stop cookies. Like for example, I'm pretty sure the browser I use has it, but there are browsers available that have this feature. It's called Cookie Blocker. It prevents, basically gives like false information, well, false data to these companies. So like, it's actually not your like search history and stuff that's being sent out to them.
Hmm.
It's like there are very easy workarounds if like this is the kind of thing you're worried about.
But if you look at something like TikTok,
Think about this as well. Like, imagine you were discussing some your criminal plot you had planned coming up on Facebook. Would you be more right not to share that and let it go ahead, or to share it and prevent it?
What?
I don't understand what you mean here, Mickey.
That is so
Well,
like,
imagine-
out of talk context.
Hmm.
Do they not monitor like messaging or anything like that?
Not private messages, no.
Okay, then. As far as you know,
Generally, like stuff like
as far as
I remember it was Twitter where the FBI were kind of like always like nagging at Twitter to allow them to view like private messages, and like Twitter was just basic, no, like generally like when it comes to like the police, the social medias don't cooperate with the police.
I don't.
Bro, are you
think-
joking? The FBI? Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
Giovanni. There's like a thing, like the police do have access to all of the social medias, what's it called, servers and that in Ireland at least.
Do they?
When do you know on Messenger,
Mhm.
there's vanish mode, which is practically like Snapchat. It's kind of like you can change to a setting where all the messages delete after you send them, and they
Mhm.
get read. It says a thing. It's like the messages will be deleted from your view, but in certain cases the authorities will have access to the messages, so they don't
Mhm.
actually get deleted.
Yeah, it's the same
Right,
on
like-
Snapchat. I remember.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was someone who came to
So-
school and was telling us about this, where like basically any picture that you take on Snapchat and like send, Snapchat pretty much own the copyright to that picture, so like they can sell your picture to be used in like billboards and stuff. And there was like a
Yeah.
case where like an Irish guy went to China and he found himself on a like advertisement billboard, which was pretty mad. Like,
Oh my god. That's what I mean. That could just someone like
I mean, like yeah, that is an issue, I suppose.
it's just simply a breach of privacy. Like,
Yeah, I think it
and
comes
the
down
FBI
to
basically just give
breach of privacy.
like the FBI basically just give Twitter and Facebook a slap on the wrist. Really, like. They seen that
kinda hard
Mark
to argue
Zuckerberg was kind
against
of
that,
having
I'm
a
not
heart
gonna lie.
attack up there.
I mean, but kind of the way that it
And they're
generally
like-
works with the like authorities going is basically they can like get a like a warrant, a warrant to like search your phone where they can like see your stuff, but in like generally like they wouldn't have the like jurisdiction to go into like a server and physically find your messages. Like unless
I'm not sure, but I
unless
think
the
if
like
you're
corresponding company agreed to it.
suspected- If you're, yeah, no, but I mean, I think they have to agree to it. I think if you're suspected of like it happens with cyberbullying and
Crimes.
when people commit suicide and things like that, where people get their phones taken and then all of the Snapchats and things that they've sent and that get combed through by the police. That's happened. I think that's happened in our school.
I think they've
Oh,
tried
yeah.
to do it, but they weren't actually able to.
Is this about the distract?
Yeah, like they tried to, but they weren't actually able to get any evidence out of it, basically, pretty much, because
Yeah, no, I know. Not that there would be any evidence, but they can go through all of the snaps and things that
Mhm.
you've sent.
but they can
They're
only
allowed to
do
do
that
that.
through like actually access to your phone. That's how they'd have
Yeah,
to
but
do it.
they can access everything that you've sent through whichever medium, even if it's been deleted in air quotes. They can access all of that, and then things are stored on the servers of the companies or whatever that you're using, like Instagram or
Hmm.
Facebook or whatever.
Okay, right. Well, didn't know that. I thought that generally social media companies were against that.
I don't think they have the.
Oh,
I think they have to comply to the police in that kind of area. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that
Okay, that's fair.
that's how it works.
So the next topic is animal testing should be banned. And the teams will be Makey, Giovanni, Liam, Frank again. I should change that up. Frank, Liam, Makey, Giovanni. What? Giovanni, Liam, Frank, Makey. There we go.
there you go.
And Giovanni and Liam will be going for. So we are for the banning of animal testing, when Mikey and Frank will be going for animal testing.
Okay, so I'm just going to be the
Frank.
basic bitch here and just say that it's cruel. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
It is
definitely.
cruel, but it's necessary when you're considering like stuff like, say you could take an animal that's affected by coronavirus and you want to test the vaccine, but you don't want to see if there's any really strong negative side effects. You don't want to go to human trials yet, so you have to use animals, even though it's still horrible. It's horrible. Like, animals are like just as much living beings as we are, but considering self-preservation of the human species ourselves, that we need to investigate it with them first before trying it on one of our own.
Yeah, I think
kind.
it's the,
I know it's bad,
the
but it's true.
absence. It's the absence of a better alternative.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not very particularly familiar with the subject. I don't know if there are other ways of but when you need to test things on that you intend to
thing
use on
being-
humans,
Guys,
You
guys,
intend-
guys. So, just disclaimer here for anyone who doesn't know, right? This disclaimer, if you don't like hearing about those stuff, this is about to be really hard to listen to, probably. There's right, the other
It's
day you were
about the
showing me about that
Kiwi.
guy. No, it's about the Nichio you showed me one time, from Japan, who
Oh
kept
god,
alive
that guy.
because he had the most. So that example, bro, they thought they had the biggest argument. So does that mean he was justified the way he was treated because they probably found some things out about him? I'm guessing. And for anyone who
No.
doesn't
I'm
know,
not
by
sure
the way,
what you're
Johnny, maybe you can
talking
tell
about.
better than me. Yeah, so Johnny, go on ahead. Like maybe you
Yeah,
can
well,
tell us
that
better than me.
guy's name was Hisashi Ouchi. I think like people should know that name. Just putting it out there. Probably
Thank you.
one of the worst treated guys in the world. But yeah, I mean, sorry, who's in my team again?
Happened to him.
Liam. Okay, Liam's on my team. Well, basically, this nuclear accident
Yeah,
happened
boy.
in Japan, and he got the largest dose of radiation ever given to a human being. Like, obviously, it was an accident, but basically, the Japanese authorities, whatever, they kept him alive. They just wouldn't let him die, and like, you know, he was in the most excruciating pain you could ever imagine. He had no skin, no muscle. They were basically keeping alive by like keeping his veins like sewed up.
I'm aware this is terrible and awful, but
And they kept him alive for 83 days.
Mikey. Before you start, Giovanni, I think it's only appropriate that you fucking show them
No.
before we continue any further.
No.
Hmm.
Not
And maybe we
happening.
get their reactions.
yeah, but I know this is
is
like
different.
terrible, but we're talking about animals testing, not human
I
testing.
know. But yeah. But the thing is, with the animal testing, it's kind of like if we go with humans, like it's illegal to like breed humans, use them for testing, but then again, like it's legal with animals. I suppose we kind of just think of as like with humans, like we are more important kind of thing. I mean, like
But
my
aren't
my
humans
point
also
is
considered
completely
animals?
flawed. Like, yes, we are.
Aren't humans
Yeah, we
considered
are.
animals?
Not allowed. We're plants.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
also,
we're
Frank, what were you going to say there?
plants.
Sorry. Frank, what were you going to say?
Okay, rip.
Well, I was just like saying there's no real alternative to it. I mean, do you say we're not going to test on animals? We're just going to go straight to testing on humans? I suppose it's what you weigh as more important is testing on humans and potentially putting human lives at risk worse or better or the same as testing on animals and putting their lives at risk.
Yeah, I agree.
The
Frank.
thing is,
Like,
What about in the
there's
case?
just no other alternative.
Guys, I have a point here I'd
really,
like to mention. Well, basically, the thing is,
Yeah.
like, looking at it from an animal point of view, like, you can breed a large quantity of rats in, like, a short amount of time. When if you were to breed humans to do the same thing, it would take, like, decades. When a rat's what you can do in, like, a year. That's why, like, rats are used, is because you can breed them really fast.
Right, yeah, like there's an abundance of rats.
Like, it's just, you see, they
The
don't
rats are
use rats from the wild, but, they create their own rats.
Yeah, you can consider like there's that as well. Like there's more like an abundance of rats, and rats are kind of considered as vermin. Like
Yeah, but that's
people
irrelevant.
usually want them and find them in there.
That's irrelevant, Mikey.
I don't think it's irrelevant.
It is
like,
because they
considering,
don't
like,
use wild rats. They breed their
Okay,
own ones,
like
so like it's like
rats.
separate from nature. So like when they use rats, they don't affect like the actual like species of rats, like as in like rats as a whole. I mean, like, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I'm just saying like that makes your point there kind of irrelevant.
Should we kill rats?
It's not only rats. Like, what are the main animals they use for animal testing?
Rats.
Besides
I'm
rats.
pretty
Well,
sure,
I
isn't it?
suppose kind of like pigs are a good one to use because anatomically pigs are very similar to humans. Like basically it's like a thing like like people like cannibals who've actually eaten meat, they would compare human meat to pork even. That's like even flavor wise the same. Or even if any of you
Also,
have ever watched the show Money Heist, they use pigs to like practice the surgeries on.
Do you know what that is as well? In tattoos, they use dead pigs
Because they're very
pigs
similar to humans.
skin is so similar. Yeah, exactly.
Completely forgot what I was going to say there.
We just used their argument for them, Gio. Look, I mean, very bad.
But like when you think about it, you're sort of arguing like against it, but like what other alternatives is there? Like I know we've been saying this over and over again, but like honestly, if there is a terrible disease that's affecting humans, like what are we gonna do? If we can't test it on it. If there's another option, like there might be, I would love to choose that option to spare the suffering of other creatures, living creatures. But like if there's not, we have to take the value of human life and place it above the value of animals, unfortunately. So if there's another option, I would love to know what that option is. But as things stand at the moment, I believe that's like the only course of action we could take to prevent further deaths.
I think I don't think there'll ever be an alternative to that.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it's harsh truth.
Unless they make like some rats that don't feel pain or something. But anyway, guys, I think we should move on to our final topic for the night. We've kind of gone through our list here, and there's one left. And it is all drugs should be legalized. And by legalized, I'm talking about decriminalized, treated as a healthcare issue rather than a criminal issue. And the teams for this will be Frank and Mikey, me and Liam. Frank and Mikey will be going. Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun dun.
Against. So you think all drugs should stay illegal, whilst me and Liam are going to be fighting for them to be decriminalized.
And I believe we should start with you and Liam, since you are fighting against the status quo.
To me, it's
You may
so
begin.
obvious. The only problem is the government. It's so obvious, man. Nobody wants to be really punishing people for like their own mistakes. It's more if you cause harm onto another human being. That's when like people seem to agree upon like
Are you talking about
justice being
animals
taken.
still?
No,
Alright, okay, continue.
no, that's it, man. Like it's just so simple. Like you shouldn't like criminalize someone for like. And the problem is they're damaging themselves. It's like alcoholics. It's like you criminalize them for like buying alcohol, but like the problem is if they're out drinking illegally and they crash their car, they could harm someone else. That's when we want someone to
Hmm.
go
Well,
before a judge.
Kind of curious, as
When
in
they're
when
drunk.
you mean
And
legalized?
that's
Are you
also
talking about
fires.
like, as in the pharmaceutical sense, as in you'd go
No.
get prescripted certain
No.
type of thing? Like, how would it work? Like, just for leisure, then basically,
No.
you could just go into a shop. How would it work?
Well,
And
let me
how
explain.
Would that work? Okay, go for it.
Rather than asking the same question over and over. Well, basically, in my opinion, I think rather than treating drugs as like a crime, like for example, if you were doing meth, like it being treated as like a crime, I think it should be more treated as like a medical issue. In the kind of same way that alcoholism would be treated, like, you know, AA meetings, stuff like that. Like, obviously, there's still. What? Oh, Frank keeps disconnecting, but like, you know, there's still like the AA meeting available, like after you've done your prison time, whatever. But if we take Portugal as an example, Portugal used to have one of the worst heroin addiction, like, whatever you call it. Not pandemic, what's the other word? Okay. But yeah.
Epidemic.
Yes, they had the worst heroin
Epidemic.
epidemic in the world. And this is when the time period when every country in the world was like crushing down, like they were starting the drug on wars where like people were being sent to prison, families being ruined, lives being ruined because you have that
thank
criminal
you to Joe
record on
Biden.
you.
Big up to Joe Biden.
And
Sir.
well, what they did in Portugal, they went against the norm. They treated it as more of a medical issue. They gave medical treatment, rehab and stuff. That was what they done to people, and heroin addiction dropped. And the thing is, even though like in these days, like obviously there's still people that take heroin, but like the rate of overdose to like people who take heroin is like nothing, because it's like it's, you know, it's practiced more safely, if I could say that. Like, and this kind of like
I
works
do
for
not
like a lot
condone
of
the
drugs too.
practice of heroin. Or not condone, but
Yeah, but we're just using Portugal as an example in this.
Mm.
And I think that is like ideology a lot of countries should adopt. Because,
I think
like, let's say them people, they overcome these addictions, they still have a chance at simply getting a job, whilst in other countries where it's criminalized, places won't hire you simply because you have a criminal record. Even if they don't know what it is, they just won't hire you.
that's the thing is, well, like people who are like selling it, like if you're selling heroin as well,
I
No,
think
you
I
said
think
that
people who
she
sell
doesn't-
it should definitely still go to prison.
I was thinking about
Isn't that the
but
whole
then it's
thing?
like
Isn't that what we're talking
Here,
about?
hang
Like
on.
allowing drugs?
there's a quote
That'd
though,
be
Gio,
illegal.
I really want to put right here, and it's the fact that like it's a story, and it's pirates in the ocean, he's drawing a big crater full of whatever kind of goods. He's a small man with a small boat, but then you give the power to the government, and you call it an empire, and it has navies that like attack the world, like, and we call him an emperor. So that's the
When
quote.
you
It's like if you take
reconnect
the power away from them
the
and give it to your government,
Hey, Frank's
Mad
back.
analogy.
huh?
I don't really get what this analogy is supposed to mean, Liam.
When you reconnect
context
of
the
Liam
argument.
is embarking on a mad analogy.
No
It's
relevance.
just class.
No, it does.
Sounds very nice, but like, what does it have to do with the topic? I'll be quiet now. You can go ahead and explain.
me explain. Because Giovanni said people who sell it should still go to prison. Then he like mentioned the practice, but like yes, it's kind of tricky. 'Cause I'm like, I don't know if you're talking about like heroin like, coming from the government. You said like, a safe place to practice it. I'm not sure, but like then you said people who sell it should still be criminalized. But that means you've given the government the power to do it legally and not to the person.
No.
I don't think it's a good thing.
You
I don't
don't
think it's a good
sell
thing.
them
Wouldn't,
heroin.
aren't we talking about the
You-
legalization
If they
of?
have heroin and they're addicted to it or they're dependent on it or whatever, there's places where they can use it where they don't have to share needles and end up in
Yeah,
like
Canada
the
has
back
started doing that.
alley. Yeah.
In Canada, you get vending
Canada.
machines where you can get free like needles, Narcan, like literally any drug paraphernalia. You can get these vending machines that give them to you for free, like to kind of create rather like more of a safe environment for people to practice. Because like I suppose at the end of the day, no matter what you do, people are still going to do it. That is never going to stop. In like in history, it will never stop.
Not always though, because there's a YouTuber called CG Kid, open about it, and he's a very good YouTuber, and he talks about like any kind of drug. Like he's a very good YouTuber to go learn more drugs, not from a go kind of perspective, but just like what they do to the brain. But he was an addict, and he kind of phrased in a sense, if he was in a room with it for 10 minutes, he would absolutely do it. But still to this day, he's like basically clean. He doesn't use it anymore. So although it's always in the back of his mind, I think that would be better than like always going to like some kind of local safe heroin kind of thing.
Liam,
Where you can go and save-
is your argument just stop doing it? Don't go.
No,
to
my
the
argument isn't
same
stop.
place.
My argument isn't stop doing it. It's more like it's actually looked at like the way we help it is actually looked at wrong. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to just like, yes, you should give them a safe place to go. It should be decriminalized, but that doesn't mean I think you should open up like a shop where you can practice it safely.
Isn't
I
that
think
what
it's more
you
of a
are
place
trying
where
to
you
argue for? I'm confused how this works. Like, so are we legalizing all drugs?
kind of
We like
criticizing rehab.
Decriminalizing.
I'm kind of criticizing rehab, but yeah,
legalizing it.
I'm fine
okay.
with it being decriminalized.
Because
So how-
Portugal is the prime example. And
Yeah, Liam, the
I think
whole
like even after this
purpose of
podcast, you should take a look at
decriminalising-
what Portugal done.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like the whole purpose of decriminalizing it isn't to get so people have a safe place and they can do heroin all they want. The purpose of decriminalizing is it lets people stop. People are more likely to stop doing illegal drugs when it's decriminalized, and that Portugal is the case study for that. When it's decriminalized and that help is so available, people are more likely to look for help. That's the whole purpose of decriminalizing it. It isn't like all drugs should be illegal so we can all do drugs. The reason is because they found that it works. If you
Mhm.
decriminalize drugs,
For treatment,
that
yeah.
people it's
I
like
understand a
treating
little bit
people-
better now.
Yeah.
about we're talking about like class A drugs here, like hard drugs. Let's talk about some more like what do we think about like?
Well, we're talking about all drugs.
Yeah, we're not really talking about one of the major ones that is
The
quite common.
reason I mentioned, hang on a second, Mikey, before I lose my train of thought. CG Kid, for example, he was an addict one time. It would be interesting to me if he went to like Portugal now. Would he like? I don't know from his experience, but I can imagine like if he went there, would he be more safe because he's living in Portugal and there's places where he can like locally go down and do it.
No, that's
Yeah,
not a thing.
They don't condone it.
Yeah,
Liam.
that's not a
They
thing.
just don't
It's just
make
if
like
you
a
do it,
better
rather
get-
than going to prison, you
I know.
go to the hospital.
That's
I
the
understand.
concept.
So are we saying when we decriminalize it and people use it, it should be more of an individual responsibility rather than the government's responsibility?
No,
And
not
maybe
at
like
all.
these places set for people to go to.
It's just instead of going to prison, you get help. That's what the ideology is.
I understand.
Well,
It's
guys,
just I think there's different.
do you
what's happening.
have any counter arguments against having drugs decriminalized?
Oh shit! I forgot about that. I was meant to be against it, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Me and Liam just swapped
Um,
sides real quick.
My bad.
No.
Is there anything else?
Frank, do you have anything to say?
Well,
Well, drugs are bad, and the devil. So
yeah. You see, I think
Go
like
to hell,
you
you
like-
like drugs, boys.
I mean, obviously, like this worked in Portugal quite well, but it's kind of like a question, like, if different countries do adopt it, would they do it in the same way, or would they do it in different ways that wouldn't have such a successful outcome of Portugal? Because obviously, like every government's
Yeah.
different. They're probably going to take like, different approaches to different sections of it. Like for example, let's say this happened in America, which doesn't have universal healthcare, because in Portugal it does have universal healthcare and private healthcare. It's kind of like Ireland, and basically, this will be funded by the government. Your treatment, which which would probably still cost the same as a prison sentence. So there's no really like any added like funds for implementing this.
So
But,
it's kind
There
of what
is,
you're
though,
saying is kind
because
of
I think,
similar
like,
to
in the-
when people have psychiatric
when you say the
problems.
government pay for it, you mean like other people pay for it? It's like taxes. So I mean, it's like other people will be paying for your heroin.
No, Liam, you're not going to be given heroin. I don't know why you think they're just going to start handing out heroin in lucky dip bags, like.
So,
But
I'm
anyways,
confused.
guys, let me
I'm just
finish my point. But if I think
Yeah,
if it was like
Richard, shut the
implemented
fuck
in
up.
like, Mikey, shut up. I think it was like implemented in place like America, where doesn't have universal healthcare, it's private healthcare. I think that would kind of cause a major issue, where like that would mean that the addict themselves would have to pay for it. And I think that would cause a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's the countries there that I don't think would very easily be able to implement such a thing.
People that aren't governments and countries that aren't financially stable enough to provide that kind of outlet for people that
Well,
suffer from
no, Mikey,
addiction.
because having someone in prison costs an unfathomable amount of money,
Yeah, I think it's like something.
and it'll be
like,
the
how much
same
is it?
amount of money to like, or possibly less, to get their treatment.
How do you know that though?
Well, because there's no way that the treatment would cost more than how much a 5-10 year prison sentence would be.
But it could be a
Maybe
5.
not.
And the thing is,
like,
Liam, after they're done with their treatment, they're going to be back in society. Then again, like, with a job, contributing to the economy. Whilst if you go to prison, you could still get a job, but there's no way that you'd get like a high-paying job. So essentially, your future
it
wouldn't be
depends
so
where you
bright.
go. If you look
So
at Sweden
what-
and Denmark, if you look at Sweden and Denmark, like they do actually have like quite good education in their prison systems.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, like
But they still have a criminal record.
yeah, of course.
And people
like,
hiring
Even
That makes
there,
our-
it's
people
not like-
hiring don't generally
Sort
want
of.
people with criminal records.
Yeah, but like at the same time though, if you pick up a good enough skill, some people would still want to hire you anyways based on your skill rather than your history. So it flows both ways, man.
Mm.
I think it's just like, I think like it could be implemented in certain countries, but I think like countries that don't have universal healthcare, I don't think it would be as effective.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think this was quite a mad podcast, don't you think?
It started off a bit mental, but
Yeah, then it kind of got
got a bit better
sensible
later
near
on.
the
leveled
end.
out towards the end.
It's kind of like I don't know which one it was. I don't remember. I just brought something. I think it was like the uniforms. I brought up like a valid point, and it just kind of changed direction from there. It's quite funny.
right, guys, we're doing this again, which
Yeah, I
apparently
think
we will.
this could potentially be a series. Who knows? I
We'll
think.
choose better ones, not like Shark Infested Waters.
Ah, no, come on, they're kind of funny.
Line
Like they have
kids.
to be in there. Aye, but definitely, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Do you want to say your goodbyes?
It was really fun to talk to you
Right.
guys.
Yeah, it was good.
Fucking, we
It's
came in
good to
here
be
a
back.
bit bold, but just like shows like after a while, like once we get flowing, like before the podcast, we were had a good chat. We even recorded that. It could have been fun, but yeah, it was a good chat, and not everything I think everyone said was exactly agreeing with some other team.
We're all very talented at chatting shit.
Yes, definitely.
Exactly. We shot a lot of ice
Glad to
cream,
be
boy.
back again.
Let's just be honest. We shot a lot of ice cream, like.
Go
Ice
make
cream
some
is the
ice
most
cream, kid.
topic to like debate, like obviously.
Alright, well, anyway, guys, if you want to see some more, if you have any suggestions, please comment them below once the video is uploaded. And we'll definitely consider anything you want us to talk about. And, well, yeah, hold on here, let me mute that. Anyway, guys, well, I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. It's quite a mad one. Kind of fun, though. And, well, like once again, if you want to check out Shamey and Cloch Ban on Instagram, you can buy his prints, you'd be supporting him, and you'd be helping us. And check Darach Sharkey in the description as well, give him some support. And also, all our social medias and Twitch are linked down there as well. You should go follow them out. Cool stuff happens there sometimes. And anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Good luck and goodbye. I suppose a lot of people possibly.